Good evening and welcome to today's CLC Conversations with me, Elima Basu from BBA and Siddhant Pramanik from BCA. As we move on with the 11th episode of CLC Conversations Beyond the Classroom, we have two esteemed guests with us, Utsav Datta and Sucheta Sarkar. As a part of this institution, we are very proud to present two of our triumphant alumni currently residing in Germany. Utsav Datta is a Strategic Alliance Manager, Machine Learning EMEA, Amazon Web Services. And Sucheta Sarkar, on the other hand, is a Business Operations Manager, International Public Sector, Amazon Web Services. She recently completed her music degree from Berkeley University as well. We got to hear from Saujanya ma'am as how phenomenal they were during their college days. So this introduction is definitely very small and not enough to highlight their shining careers. So I would like to ask them about themselves and their vivid achievements. I would ask Utsav sir to first go forward and tell us more about yourself and your achievements.
Guys, firstly, thank you for having us. It's an absolute pleasure. It's sort of a digital or a virtual homecoming for us. It's great to be associated with this institute in some way or the other. And congratulations to all of you and all the members of NSHM for a glorious Silver Jubilee as well. It's good.
Thank you so much.
To be associated in some way this year. So career, let's take a route back. So both of us were actually part of the BCA course in NSHM. Post the BCA course, we got a job at Cognizant in Kolkata from the campus itself. I think that's where we landed up as our first job. I worked at Cognizant for around 3 years, I think 30 months to be precise, and then I went to SPJIMR in Mumbai for my MBA. So while doing my MBA there, I opted for an away semester at ESB Business School in Reutlingen. While at ESB Business School, I landed an internship at a company called, which is like sort of the LinkedIn of Germany. It's a local company called Expedier. So that's where I landed an internship. That internship converted into a job, so never came back after that. So that's how it happened. Since Expedier, I then joined a startup called Fuzzy Logics. I used to run their European business for around 3 years since 2017. And then last year, around September, I joined AWS as responsible for running their partner business in the machine learning and data analytics segment. So that's been my journey so far. And I think I'm at least very grateful for all the opportunities I've had from NSHM as well. I think it provided a great platform to us to explore a lot of these things and develop a lot in communication skills and some other areas as well. So that's with me so far. Good to be here.
So NSHM was like that stepping stone to your career, right?
Like when you went into NSHM, it was like a normal bachelor's degree for us. At that point of time, you don't have the maturity to think about whether it's a stepping stone or anything of that sort. But what I would really like to call out is the different avenues we were given an opportunity to explore. I think that was there. We were really encouraged to explore those different avenues. I think there were almost all the fests around the eastern zone of the country, be it IIT Kharagpur, Xavier's, Jadavpur. I think we participated in all of those around a plethora of activities, not only one. I, for one, used to play the drums. It was part of the debate as well. One act play, so different activities. We tried those things. A lot of student activities were encouraged during our time as well. I think we were the first batch who conducted the student body elections for the first time. We were the batch who tried to do the first fest as well in the Kolkata campus. So very fond memories. I think at that point of time, you do it because you like it. But when you look back at this point in time, you understand that those things actually help develop you in many ways as well. Gives you life skills which you cannot get only just by going through your curriculum. So So that way, I think I'm definitely indebted to the different opportunities which was provided to us at NCH.
Right. So moving forward, I would like to hear something from Sucheta ma'am as well, like regarding her career and everything. That
Yes.
because that was a very small introduction that I could manage. We would definitely like to hear more from you.
No, absolutely. So continuing on what Utsav said, I think we started on the same time. We were at the same batch, and from NSHM, as you said, that we got a lot of opportunities. Education is a part of it, but as you said, that life lessons are something which come through experiences. In a way that the professors were able to give us ownership of a lot of things. Like we started with login. I think login was one big event that we were looking after, which is the freshers intro. So that was something which we had complete ownership of. We were looking of the backstage stuff, front stage stuff. So it gives a sense of, understanding that, okay, how to control things. A lot of things went out of control. We were trying to bring things back into normalcy. So I think those little things at every step, every year, every semester, we got a lot of opportunities. So that was a part of the NSHM. And regarding my career, I also joined Cognizant. I was a part of the database networking team. And then I was there for 4 years, 1 year more than itself. And then from there,
Okay.
I started looking for opportunities outside India. Germany was one of the focus countries for me. So I started looking for opportunities here, applied for some colleges, applied for the GMAT exam, got through WHU Autobeischung School of Management, which is based out of Düsseldorf, for my MBA. And then it's a 1 year, very intensive course. And from there, I got an internship opportunity in Amazon retail. And when I was working as an intern here as a business intelligence intern, I got an offer from AWS to join in the operations team or sales operations part of the business. So I have been there since then. So 5 years and 2 months. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
That's really
So,
amazing.
like I believe, like all of us from offline mode, we have shifted to the online mode. It's the same for you guys as well, right? Or are you going to offices?
I love to go to office. Whenever I see, now they have the booking option, like you reserve seats and you go, because they need to have 20% of the headcount in offices.
Okay.
Whenever I get a chance, I just go because it's nice to be in office. It's a little bit different. So yeah, I'm all pro office. I think they're starting with hybrid models now. So you can do like 3 days of work from home and 2 days of office. So whenever it kickstarts, I think I'm just going to go for it.
The general guidance is that we do not need to go to office till January 3rd, 2022, unless there's a specific need for it. I'm a great work from home fan. I just love not going through all the shenanigans of getting ready in the morning and going to office.
That is actually the thing.
So I have actually not been to office at all for the whole of 2021 so far. I only went once to get my jab done, the vaccination done, because the office was providing it. Apart from that, I haven't been to office at all. So yeah, and I think the full-time 100% office routine, at least in most companies in Europe, is definitely not going to come back. So I think it's going to be a hybrid model, and it depends like what percentage will be in office, what percentage will work from home. From what we understand, it's probably going to be 3 days in office and 2 days work from home, but that's how it's going to be. So but to be honest, I don't think productivity, at least in my team, has been hampered at all. But it's a matter of meeting with the team. We do that outside office sometimes. We just meet over coffee and stuff like that. But that's how it's been.
Really amazing. That's really
right.
that all that design, like everyone,
from BC. Actually, it's like as a coder, as a developer, we always think like that. Making ready in the morning and going to the office or going to the college, both of them seems so unnecessary for us. And we can when we can do it from the screen, that is really the thing. I really totally agree with you.
I think I little bit differ from the entire thought of work from home, because it leads to lesser connection. I think emotional bond is very important for your team, and over the meetings or over Zoom or anything that you network through, right? You're just seeing a window, a camera, and then that is how you are. I think when you're working in offices, you are personally connecting. You're going for lunches, you're meeting together. You're more casual when you're seeing someone face to face. That leads to a little bit of bonding, and then that has a really big impact in terms of how you work. Very simple example, like if someday if I need someone to work a little bit longer, and we have had that connection, is like, hey, can you just help me out, and can you a little bit work an extra hour? And then like, no problem at all, let's go ahead and do that. So that connection, somehow it's difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but a little bit difficult when you're online. Yeah.
I think it also depends on whether it is a localized team or a more global team.
Yeah.
My team, for example, even if I went to office, we are only 2 people in Munich. Then we have other people in London.
Okay.
We have some in Dubai. We have some in Luxembourg, some in Zurich. So it's not a team. Even if I went to office, I would have met them every day. So
Right.
that's how the global teams are nowadays. That's the reality. I think a lot of things gets done over Zoom and go to meeting.
Absolutely.
That has been an advantage for this thing. Like we can connect all over the world, and all people from all over the world can work for a company. Like that is the best thing that has happened, I guess, in this pandemic. Yeah. So let's move on to the first question that we have, because we have a few set of questions for you. I really assure you that we won't bore you with this question. Okay, these are like general questions. Like, okay, so as you said, I'll just start with Utsav sir. So as you said that you completed your BCA, then you went for MBA. So was it difficult to move from one channel of education and then moving on to another one? Like, was it very difficult or challenging, or was it just makeshift thing for you?
Personally, I always wanted to have a techno-functional skill set. I I was not. I was never a big, fan of programming. I did some in Cognizant, but I was not like always into programming and something like that. I always wanted to have a techno-functional skill set. I always wanted to be someone who understood the technology, but was able to communicate the business value of it to a broader audience to make sure the technology actually helps you get the business outcomes. I think that was just me. That's how I wanted my career to be, and that's how I planned for it. So I wouldn't say it was much difficult. I wouldn't say it was difficult at all. I think when you go to some of the MBA classes, like the one which I had in SPGIMR or the one which I had in ESB Business School, or the recent degree which I did at INSEAD, I think the MBA classes are very diverse nowadays. I think the selection process itself is such that they do not encourage a very homogeneous class anymore. It's not only about your CAT, SAT, or GMAT scores. They also look at you a lot more eclectically, a lot more holistic manner, as in what are the other things you've done in your life. So they do not want a class full of computer, like software engineers, or a class full of, electrical engineers or something like that. They also want to have some kind of gender parity in place nowadays. So I think our classes, like from my personal experience, the 3 sort of business school classes I've been a part of have been very diverse. I've had people who is a chef, to people who is a fashion designer, to running their own family business, to people like me who have worked in some kind of a multinational company earlier. So very diverse group of sets. And your curriculum is, when you go to the business school, your curriculum is made in such a way that the first year is general management. So you imbibe a lot of general management skills in the first year, and then in the second year move over to your specializations. So I wouldn't say it was very difficult. And also in terms of nowadays, whichever part of business studies you get into, there's always a tech attached to it. So this is tech, marketing tech, there is HR tech, there is fintech. So everything has a tech attached to it. I think that's how the world is evolving. I think having some basic idea of the technology, which runs the systems nowadays is also very necessary, even if you are in a management kind of a curriculum. So I would encourage people to have that kind of a techno-functional skill set actually, which gives you a much more holistic perspective of what's exactly happening in the business.
Very well, thank you. So the same question
Okay.
for Suchita ma'am, as we feel that ma'am has a different approach for it as well, as ma'am said with her introduction and her idea.
Yeah, so for me, I think I also wanted to get into a techno managerial role where I have the experience of being from the tech world and then getting into it and applying that in the management segment. So where I work now, it's basically sales operations. And we work very much on Tableau, on Excel. We need to, everybody in AWS need to have like some basic idea of technology. They need to be able to pull reports and analyze them. And I think if I did not have like a technical background, it would be difficult, of course, to understand those. And I think that has helped me in a way to have a mixed education, the bachelor's being technology based and the master's being management based. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, like, this transition from technology to management-based studies and everything. So the career choices that you made, how do you feel about them? Like, you took a whole transition. So how do you feel about that?
I don't think it's a very difficult transition. Let's start with that. It gives you more diversification in terms of where you want to go. Like when we were studying BCA, or let's talk about my stuff. So why I selected BCA was I had two options. Either I could go for BBA or I would go for BCA, but BCA would have been a better choice for me at that point of time, because even though at somewhere I knew that I would want to get into management at a later point of time, I knew that if I really, really like the technical side of it, I can stick to it and I can move on with masters in computer application also. So that is something which gave me options in terms of two career choices. Either I can stick in the technical side or I can move to management. So that was the reason for selecting it. And later on, as Utsav was saying, that management is something which you can have, or which you can pursue from any background, because we have like so many other options, right? So I don't think it's a very difficult switch to make. It's actually a good option.
Okay.
I think it also prepared us for something which is very important, which is whether you are in a technical field or you're in a managerial kind of field, whichever field you are, I think job descriptions are very volatile nowadays.
Right.
You got to be flexible, no matter whichever stream you are a part of. Things which you have learned as a part of your curriculum will become out of date 4 or 5 years down the line. So you always will have to have that attitude where you're flexible enough to upskill yourself. So this transition, or whatever you want to term it, will continue to happen throughout your career nowadays, just because we are heading into something which is revolutionary. I think we are heading into a new phase of industrialization altogether. Industry 4.0, I think the jargon as they say it. So that is causing a lot of changes where people have to continuously upskill themselves. So I think it's good to have that attitude where you're always flexible to try and explore new things. So that way, I think this transition, in some ways have helped us to inculcate that attitude.
Right. Yeah. So like, just as you said, that learning is a continuous process. There's no stop or end to it. But I wanted to ask you both, how important is it to have a vision? Like, I want to have a goal or a vision that you want to do certain things in the future, or you're choosing a particular subject or a particular skill because you want to reach that goal. How important is that?
It's important. So I have had very short-term visions and long-term both, but I try to go one step at a time. That's how I've always processed. If I have too many long-term goals, that is difficult, because to achieve long-term goals, you have to be extremely streamlined and planned. So one step at a time helped me a lot. Like, for example, when I was choosing when I was going into selecting which country should I go for, or which university do I go for, I started like very basics. I started with step-by-step process into how I would want to get into it. Why is this important, and why not getting into details of what will happen like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. So I break whatever I have to achieve like in short-term events, and that is how I process. Always it helps me not having too much into the future at this moment. But yes, it's important to have a vision. Like, you need to know that, okay, 5 years is somewhere where broadly I would be, let's say, in the industry or in the field of cloud. That is what I would like to be in. So what is the step towards that? And then you break down and then you move ahead step by step in your career like that.
Right.
Look, if I had been in a industry talk at this point in time, I would have given a different answer. But today, with fellow students from my alma mater, I don't want to give that kind of an answer. I tell you the truth. I had no grand vision of where I am today. I did not have that vision, and very few people have that vision. I think let's be honest, when you are at that kind of an impressionable age, there are other things which are much more important to you in your life at that point of time, and you're going after that. And that's perfectly normal, and that's perfectly fine. Just be street smart, keep your eyes and ears open, and grab the opportunities which come your way. And learn to take some risks at a young age, because that's the time when you have, that's when it's easy to take risks. There's not depending on you, right? So as long as you're open about it, you're flexible and you're happy to take some risks, you're happy to try out new things, I think you'll be fine. I could have given you the answer where I had this grand vision of I wanted to be in machine learning because this is industry 4.0 and stuff. That would not have been true. That's not true. And very few people probably would have that grand vision. And that's not expected out of you as well. Grab your opportunities, be open, be street smart. You will find your way. So it's no point telling things which are not true, and it's no point telling things which are beyond expectations. And no one is looking
to you, risks are important.
Yes, be open about it. Be open to try new things out. And that's why I said, that's why our stint at NSHM was very, very helpful to us, because we tried out everything under the sun in NSHM. We tried out so many different things. Just have that, try new things out. Some will stick, some will fall. That's okay. That's just exactly how life is. And, at 21, 22, 23, when you graduate, you're happy you got your first job, or you're looking for your next postgrad. That's the visibility you have. You won't have a vision of 10 years down the line. This is the area where I want to be, and this is where I see myself. It just doesn't happen that naturally. I think only when we started writing our statement of purpose for the international business schools did we sit down thinking about what we wanted to do. But it was not something which was very natural, and I don't want to give a sense of things which are not true. So I think it's natural to be the way you are, and I think you will prosper as long as you're open to trying out new things.
Right.
Yeah. One thing I would like to stress on is the fact that what you said, be open to everything or trying out new things. I've seen people who are very selective, like they are picky in terms of selecting which job they would like to go into, and they wait and they wait. Sometimes you never know, the opportunity comes and goes. In the industry that we are in, at least in Amazon or in AWS, there's a lot of flexibility to even internally switch, move, and try out different roles. You never know what you would like. I had, as I said, I break down things in terms of like steps or what I want to achieve in terms of short-term periods, achievements. I think getting the job that I got was not something which was 100% based on my liking. Like, okay, I do not know if this is something which I would like to do at the end of the day, but let's try out. because it is something which might take me to what I would like to, get into. So opportunities came that way. There are a lot of options to actually switch and try, and you never know what you like. So you definitely should be very flexible and open to trying out the opportunity that comes your way.
Just don't get comfortable. I think there's one thing which I did unknowingly, which later I found out was very beneficial. Nowadays, in the top B schools in the world, or even in India, if you go in the interview and even if you have got a 99 percentile, if you go in the interview and tell them that what did you do for the last 8 months, I prepared for CAT or ZAT, they'll never take you in.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that attitude is also changing for the applications as well. People
Right.
want you to be a lot more holistic. So what I did, or what we did, is we actually did not take any break from our job. We prepared for CAT, ZAT, GMAT while we were in Cognizant, and that helped. So just don't get comfortable. If you want to do something, plan for it, go for it. Just don't get comfortable in whatever situation you are in. As long as you're trying out new things, you'll find a way.
Right. So too much technical things happen. Like I guess our viewers are also thinking like there's so much technicality happening. Just like I would like to ask you something about the best memory from your college. Like something as ma'am already mentioned about login. Even I both Elima and I have been part of login in 2019. Fortunately, the last fortunate batch who were actually like a
Exactly.
part of login. And after that, it never happened again because of the pandemic. So, what are your fond memories about college, even for login, if you want to specify on that?
I can go. I loved.
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
Go
go.
for it.
So for me, I think there were two moments. One was very intensive. The other one was the fun part. We went for IIT Kharagpur Fest.
Spring
That is
Fest.
something, Spring Fest.
Yeah.
Extremely memorable. That was the first time when the first time when I got out of my house without my parents. It's like just with friends. And then it was very different. I got to interact with people from IIT itself. There's so many so many students coming from different parts of the region, and then you get to know about them, you get to interact with them. It was like 3 days, 4 days.
Yes, ma'am. It's 3 days.
3
It's a
days.
3 days fest.
3 days of fun, and
Yes.
absolutely like bizarre fun. So
Yes.
I think for me that was really memorable. And I think the scary memorable part was when at least for me was during the job application period. But then I think that was a little bit easier because we had a lot of connections, like from the university, from NSHM, we had different connections, and we could go and apply for jobs and stuff. But yeah, the fun part was definitely IIT for me.
One good thing about our batch was when we used to go to this kind of fests, we were not limited only to our course. So it was not like only BCA students interacting with BCA and BBA students interacting with BBA. So we had this whole contingent. So we had people from BCA, BBA, MBA, everyone. And we had great friends. So like they're elder to us, like Anirbandha, Shushabandha, Akashta and stuff like that. So we had great camaraderie throughout the time we were in NSHM, and we did a lot of things together. So one fond memory is Spring Fest. I qualified for the finals of the debate, and we had a very good night prior to the debate. The debate was supposed to start at 7 a.m. And as is normal, when you go out for those kind of fests, you have a jolly good time. You're having a great time. So you go to bed at around something like 5 or something of that sort. And next morning at 7 was the finals of the debate. I think Mohit from BMS, as far as I remember, was probably was probably the leader of our contingent. So I remember him like just showing me out from wherever I was, just sleeping, and just waking me up and making sure I go for the debate and stuff like that. And you just sort of just brush your teeth in some way and just make yourself and get yourself on the podium. And you go to the podium, a lot of people in their suits and ties and stuff like that, and you're not prepared for that at all. That was a fun experience. I came second. We did well. It's not that we were completely out of sorts. I think we did well. We won some points in that competition as well. So lots of fun memories like that. I think the first login which we were organizing, not when we were freshers, the first login which we were organizing, I think the drum kit broke down in the middle of middle of some performance, and we did not have a spare drum kit. So I think Sajana ma'am is here. I think she will remember. You understand how Sajana ma'am is in the middle of a show, right? She's all worked up. So the drum kit has broken her down. So we have other performances where the drum will be used. So I'm running back home, getting hold of a cab to make sure that we get the drum kit back, a new drum kit, which is at my home. And she is worked up. She's calling me to a non-stop. Where are you? When are you going to make it and stuff like that? So these are fond memories. We have had many such memories throughout. I think the first student body elections, which then led to opening up of the cafeteria where we had table tennis and the music room and stuff like that. Those were great days. I think that happened at last year when we were the last at NSHM, but we were very actively involved in that. I think that was great. I think we had great times there. So lots of fond memories, lots of fun memories. I think to look back at. So thank you for actually making us relive some of those moments.
They were obviously like with your words only we can understand how much you enjoyed this time.
Right. At this moment, we really do understand, because we were actually the last batch who could enjoy Login Astitva, and after that, this pandemic stepped in, and I think our juniors do not even know the fun of participating, organizing, being a part of the teams, the separate security, volunteering, and the invitation, going to other colleges, inviting them and everything. So Utsav sir told us about his experience. I would also like to hear Sucheta ma'am's experience of the Login Astitva, the first fest that you people organized.
Well, for me, I think you remember like a lot of details. I don't remember this drum kit incident. Well, what I can relate to is I think we had a lot of back end activity, and then what Utsav was saying is that we saw all the faculty members completely paranoid with a lot of things not working out. It was the first time. I think from the memory part of it, it was actually very, I have all the positive ones. I don't have any negative ones. We had a very nice time organizing the entire event. It was the first event actually after the student body council, I think. And I think, the fun part was when we were selecting Mr. Fresher and Miss Fresher. The entire process of people coming and they're just showing off their talent and stuff. That was a lot of fun to actually watch. But I don't remember a lot of the tense moments. I remember the fun part of it. So
and surprisingly, the Miss Fresher is sitting here. She's the Miss Fresher of our batch.
Oh,
congratulations, Elena.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Actually, I had that wish that next year I'll go on the stage and I'll pass the sachet and the crown to somebody else. But that just never happened. Hope before I leave college, this pandemic leaves somehow, and I, we get to celebrate.
One last fest for our college.
Fest.
Right. Like we did not get we got only 6 months of college, to be honest. Like 6 months of college in which we had seen 2 fests of our college, the YCOM and the Login Astitva. And then suddenly one day we got a notice that for 14 days the college is going to close. Just for 14 days, and these 14 days never ended. So yeah.
So
no one
I also heard from Shaujanya ma'am that you have completed a music degree from Berkeley University.
Yeah, it's not a degree like a full-time 2-3 years degree. It's basically a summer program which I graduated from.
Congratulations on that, first of all.
Thank you so much. It was very random, actually. The opportunity came very randomly. So Berkeley has the main campus is in Boston, and then they have extended they have expanded to Dubai, and in Europe they are in Valencia in Spain.
Yes.
So Boston is very far, and then we are working. We don't have so many holidays. So I wanted to always do some sort of holistic course. I'm from the Indian musical background, so I wanted to have a little bit of understanding of how Western music is, what notations, how they read notations, how you write songs and stuff. So I saw this 3 weeks course in Berkeley, Valencia, and I just randomly applied in January. So I was fortunate enough to get selected for the course, and even then I was not sure till it took me like 2 months to decide whether I should go or not, because it's a 3-week course. Off from work is a lot of stuff. I think I had to sometimes even log in from Valencia while I was in the course to see if things are going right, because it's a long break. But yeah, I have very nice colleagues and managers, so everything was sorted from this end. So yeah, I had a 3-week intensive course. We ended up being selected as one of the teams to also sing at the final ensemble event. And it was pretty fantastic. Very new for me, very new for anyone who has the Indian classical background, but so much to learn, so much fun.
Right.
Very well.
So you said that you went up on stage and you sang. So I just have a small request, and I know that everybody out here would love it. Can you just sing something, a little something for us? We would love to.
Go for it. Go
Love to
for it.
hear.
Yeah, sure. I can sing Rabindra Songit because I like Rabindra Songit. So
Anything of your choice.
That you're, yeah.
Okay. এই আকাশে আমার মুক্তি আলোয় আলোয়, এই আকাশে আমার মুক্তি আলোয় আলোয়, আমার মুক্তি দুলায় দুলায় ঘাসে ঘাসে, এই আকাশে আমার মুক্তি আলোয় আলোয়, দেহ মনের সুধুর পারে হারিয়ে ফেলি আপনারে, দেহ মনের সুধুর পারে হারিয়ে ফেলি আপনারে, গানের সুরে আমার মুক্তি ঊর্ধ্বে ভাসে, এই আকাশে আমার মুক্তি আলোয় আলোয়। Thank you.
Thank you so much for singing this. But I have another request. That is,
Yeah.
I know you can play instruments really well, and you have been playing the ukulele. So a little something using that.
Play something a bit more fun, maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
something that you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, if you have want a minute to prepare, we can go for the next question. Like we can ask Sir for that.
Go ahead. Take
Yeah.
the question.
So what we were thinking is like as we have in our college as well the CLC thing, like communication and also language. So what was your role in understanding the different foreign languages? Did you learn separately, or you had to do it? This was a compulsory thing for going to Germany. You have to know German. Like anything of that sort you had to face?
Yeah, look, it depends on the industry. If you want to get into some of the more core industries, like say automobiles or electrical engineering, etc., or in business consulting, you will have to actually be business proficient in German. So that's an absolute gated entry criteria for some of those roles. Because in Germany, we'll know some of the big brands, the BMWs and the Daimlers and the alliances of
Right.
the world. But in Germany, the majority of the economy is actually run by what they call Mittelstands, or in our parlance, what would be small and medium enterprise, right? So family-owned businesses.
Right.
So if you get into a sector where you're serving those businesses, I think learning the language will be very important. But that's just one key component of it, which is learning a new language. But what is very important as a whole is communication. I think when you're looking to build your career, and there have been a lot of research which has happened around that as well, communication is probably the most important cog in your wheel. and there's no doubt about that. Nowadays, when we are at the other side of the table and we are hiring for people, we do not hire for your GPAs. We do not hire for your knowledge of a particular technology anymore, because we know that the technology will be outdated in 3 or 4 years.
Right.
So what we are hiring for essentially are 3 or 4 things. One is your attitude. 2 is your empathy, because the workplace is very diverse nowadays. So it's important to have an empathetic workforce. Otherwise, it will lead to a lot of tension. And 3, which is as important as anything else, is communication. We are hiring for communication. So communication as a pillar of your career is very, very essential. So I would, if there are students who are about to graduate or who are, figuring out or planning for their career, I would whichever curriculum you're a part of, BCA, BBA, BMS, MBA, whichever curriculum you're a part of, please focus on your communication skills. And that doesn't mean only spoken, your body language, the way you present yourself on stage. Everything is, it's a package. It's the impression you make. It's a complete package. I think NSHM is one of the very few colleges which has a complete department dedicated to it. Make use of it, because this is one thing which only comes by practice. This is not something which you will be able to read about and develop overnight. It's not going to happen. It's the more exposure you have to it, the more practice you do, you will be able to improve yourself. So please make use of it. I think Sajana ma'am is there. I think the entire department which we are talking about is there as well. Not only learning new languages, learning about how you present, learning about what body language, learning about posture, learning about your, the speed at which you speak. Everything is important. Develop that aspect of your being. The entire communication package. Please spend time on that. Please give it the importance it deserves.
Right.
Often we're only looking at our curriculum subjects. Those are important as well, but this is as important, if not more.
Right. Thank you. That
Right.
was really very much informative for all the students who are listening to us and even looking at us. So, ma'am, you're ready for your speech?
So,
Yes.
no, I would also like to ask, ma'am, that do you think the same, like in the same way that sir said, that it's not just learning a language, but it's the whole package that is important?
Always. I think effective communication is the key for everything.
Right.
So it's not about how well you know the language. You might know very limited words. Your vocabulary might not be as good as a lot of people, but if you know how to communicate your emotions, if you know how to communicate what you're thinking very effectively, that would do the trick. And that's it. That's a very important part of it, and we have that in our university, in our college, like in NSHM.
Yes.
And then you would find a lot of opportunities to actually improve on that. Practice in front of the mirror, practice anywhere. I think that's something which would just shine the more you just work on it. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. So, yeah. Now I hope we can go forward and listen to your soulful voice and you playing the ukulele.
Right.
Yes. I'll do a fun song. If someone
sure.
doesn't know, this is a very short, small ukulele that I use for most of the time that I'm singing. So yeah, it's from the movie Aisha. The song is Sham. It's one of my
Right.
Lovely.
It's a lovely song.
All right. शाम भी कोई जैसे है नदी लहर लहर जैसे ढल रही है कोई अनकही कोई अनसुनी बात धीमे धीमे कह रही है कहीं ना कहीं जागी हुई सी है आरज़ू कहीं ना
the charm is definitely amazing. Yeah.
You made our charm amazing,
Yes,
actually.
yes, yes.
Oh, thank you.
You have such a nice voice, such a nice voice. Yeah, so you are the millennial achievers of NSHM, and the institution is really proud of you guys. Really proud of this NSHM couple for sure. But I just wanted to ask you that what are your views on millennial skills?
Yeah, you start.
So they're often the millennials are sort of criticized and stuff like that for a lot of they don't have focus and etc. etc. But look back at some of the recent things which happened in our country. Look back during the floods which happened during the Sundarbans. Look back during the entire pandemic when there was an oxygen crisis. Who were the people who were working hard to make sure that the people who were affected get the minimum benefits? There are so many student organizations who basically organized themselves, created portals, created platforms where this kind of help could be provided. They reached out to the remotest of places and made sure that the people who were in distress got the support they needed. So I'm all for millennials. I think yes, like for any other generation, there is a certain amount of generation gap between the millennials and the generation above them. There are some things which are not great. The entire explosion of social media, I think, has had an impact on our focus in certain ways, has reduced our concentration in certain ways, maybe, but I think there are some positives to it as well. I think it's a very empathetic generation. It's a very emotional generation. It's a generation which has a lot more holistic view of the world. They are not only thinking about this is the course, this is the curriculum, this is my career, and this is all I'm going to do in my life. I think they have a 360-degree view. So I don't know whether I fall in that millennial generation or not, but I'm of my little cousins who are in university and stuff like that. I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of some of the activities they do. I'm sure you guys have done that as well. So I'm really, really proud of that generation. I think they're doing a lot of things right. There are certain things which they might have to improve, and I'm sure they will find out ways to do that as well.
Yeah, I think I would say they're a lot more aware. This generation, ours, there's a lot of things that go on, or a lot of work that is being put on into serious issues or concerns like climate change. What we do at home. I know a lot of people who are very concerned about how much can we recycle, how little can we use plastic, how can we actually not try to use things which are not biodegradable. So sorry, how can we not use the things which are not biodegradable? So I think there are a lot of concerns, and these things are definitely there in the minds that we have to save. We have to work on working on saving the planet is something which I see as a very genuine concern. Based on personal skills, I think people are definitely venturing into a lot of activities, trying to be just not into education, but also I see people hike, like basic stuff. They are very much into hiking. People are very much into living the life more, like they're going and doing things which are out of their comfort zone. So these are a lot of key characteristics which are there. And I think that should be there with, in everybody. Just go and experiment. But one thing that is also, that comes with it is people are very humble as well. There are a lot of young achievers, but they are very down to earth. They're very inspiring, and they inspire the upcoming generations also, and they'll do that. So that's some of the really inspiring characteristics, I think, in Minute.
Right, absolutely.
Just like I was thinking, like as your batch is one of the most like former batches of NSHM, so the most successful, I would call it as well. So what are your friends and batchmates doing right now? Are they in touch with you? Like you have contact with them, or what they're doing, where they are placed, like that?
I think let's be honest, it's not that we are in regular touch, but we know via where social media handles. When we go to Calcutta, we sometimes meet with them. I think a lot of our batchmates have done very well for themselves and for the society at large. I think Trina was from our batch, Trina Das. I think she has started a very good ed tech company in India. I know Rohit and Shanky, they have started a very good web designing company of their own. And there are quite a few who are in very good positions across different companies, and they're doing well as well. So yeah, I think they're very well established. I think for my entire batch, my entire BCA batch, if I talk about, I mean, I know where they are for about 80% of them. I think all of them, I think they're very well placed. They're doing good for themselves, and also in a way doing good for the society at large as well. I think they're doing well.
Yeah.
So like as you are connected with them every day, like it's not possible. But when you were in like the last few days of your college in NSHM, what do you remember of those days? Because obviously hours are approaching really fast, and hours will be going
Yes.
through this screen. In fact, like I don't think we'll get anything else apart from this screen. So just
Probably we will be seeing each other through the screens only.
yes, yes, that is the
So,
reason I'm interested to know that how it ended for you people, so that we can imagine something or keep some imagination from you. That's it.
The last few days, I think we were in the, what building is that? The technology building, 4th floor?
NCMT people.
Yeah, that they had the TT tables, and then
Now we don't.
that's the media building.
That's the
That's a
media.
media
Yes.
building.
The
I
Yeah.
guess
main
that's
building
it.
had those. The NCMT building had
Yes.
the lab where we used to play CS, a Counter Strike.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know how many know. That's something which our batch is very infamous for. We used to hog the entire computer room, and then they were each one were in one of the PCs, and we were on
We're
it
not
like.
we're not setting good examples here. Let's not
Yeah,
talk
okay.
about
I mean, you're in pandemic and you are on screen, but that was a fun part in which the entire class was involved. And then we spent a lot of time. I think we set up a badminton court in that open space.
Yes,
Just
we have it. We
Right,
still have
right.
it.
We
Have
still
it,
have
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
we used to spend a lot of time during winter playing badminton. I think yeah, yeah, Utsav lost so many times, when we were playing, so he's aware of that also. So I think we I think it was fun. We were trying to have as much as possible, build connections, and networking was something which we thoroughly did in the last few days. Of course, studying is there, but we tried to go out. We tried to stay, like, meet people, enjoy the last few days through different activities. Yeah, not something that I get very emotional about, but it was super fun.
if you guys can finally go back to the campus, like even if for a couple of months, I don't know what the the COVID situation will be, but if you can make the most of it, make the most of it. I think there is no prescription for it, how you will spend it, but have as much fun as you can. Those may be in activities in college. Those may be, hanging out with friends outside college, whatever you want, because this time will never come back again. Because everything has a place in life. So when you graduate out of this, you move to your job, or if you move to higher studies, I think dynamics changes. Your post-graduation is very different from your undergraduation in terms of your mental outlook, or in terms of, the entire scenario there. So you will not get this time back. Make the most of it. Whatever gives you joy, just do as much of that as possible. And yeah, make memories, and that's all that will remain with you. Maybe sometime like us. When did we graduate? 2011, right?
2011.
Yeah, 10 years down the line, I still remember
My
a lot of
goodness.
things. That's because we made those memories. So make as much of it as possible.
Yeah. Post-graduation is a different ball game. I think for me, post-graduation was very serious, very careeristic people. I had people who are already CEOs in the post-graduation degree which I was doing. So this fun part, this not caring too much about, I mean, you should, but then not caring too much about tomorrow mindset, and then living today is something which naturally comes when you are doing your bachelor's. You are in that frame of mind, you're in that age group. I think just make memories, as Utsav is saying. Just you will remember that forever, I think. Yeah,
Absolutely. So yeah, last but not the least, I hope you all know that NSHM it's celebrating its silver jubilee. So it has already gone through the 25 glorious years of its existence. So what would be your message, or like what would you like to say to the people out there?
Work hard, but also have fun. Don't forget to have fun. Don't just always indulge in things which would take you to the next step, but keep having fun as well. I think no matter where you go in life, be humble. It's very necessary that you are down to earth. Be empathetic towards others. Be nice human beings. I think be good human beings. Things will somehow fall in place, and that will work out eventually. So don't be too stressed if things don't work out. If you fail, you learn a lot. You learn more when you fail than when you're actually being successful, because you know where to not make mistakes. So failure is a part of your life. Accept it. Accepting it is most important, and move on and see what can you do better the next time than what you did the last time. So this will just, because it's a long way to go, and there's so many things. Don't be hung up on smaller failures or little things that upset you. Move on and just take them as learning experiences.
Right.
I think 25 years is very young for an institute. I think for an institute which is that young, I think NSHM has done very well for itself. I think it's definitely created a brand for itself, especially in the Eastern Zone. So we are all some ways a minuscule part of it, and hence very proud of it as well. And yeah, make the most of your time. Don't, your grades are not the be all and end all of your life. Your grades do not define you. And when you look back at your grades 10 years down the line, probably you laugh at it, how little an impact it had in your life overall. So don't work hard because so that you can learn something new, but inculcate those soft skills in you as well. Enjoy your life in the college. You'll make not only lifelong memories, you'll make lifelong connections. I met the love of my life in college. She's sitting right behind. It's been a long road for us as well. I think we got married in 2017, but we sort of met in the second semester itself. So I think so you make those kind of life choices as well in college. So make the most of it. Be happy. Be open. Be flexible. Take ownership of your failures. It's perfectly fine to fail. You will learn a lot of things from it. Develop your soft skills, and in the process, you will come out a different person from the one who got in the college, and it will happen automatically. Don't take too much stress about it. And there are lots of opportunities, and I think most of the people who get there have some niche talent or the other. They're special in some which way, and I think all of them will shine in their lives. And I wish the college and the students, you, Elima, Siddhant, and whoever else are in your batchmates who are going to graduate, all the very best. I hope all of you get your next desired position in whichever kind of companies you're looking at, or if you're going for your higher studies. I hope you're successful. I'm sure you will be successful. And you also have the responsibility, as the college grows older, I think the brand becomes bigger. So you also have the responsibility of carrying that flag in whichever profession you pursue, or whichever organization you go to. So make sure that an institute's biggest brand value is its students and education. So right. The institute is known by, okay, students who come from this institute or something like this. So make sure you keep up that, keep the flag flying high, and all the best to everyone.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us from all the way from Germany. And I hope you had a good time. I hope that like the fun that I had listening to your conversations, listening to ma'am's song and everything, that was really great. So I hope you had the same fun. And you had a
great time. Absolutely. Thank you for having us. It was great for us to walk back memory lane in some ways. I don't know whether we set all the right examples or not, but
Example
we
is-
had, but we had a very
Technically, we
good
cannot
time.
do anything in the lab nowadays. We have an admin access.
Yeah, of course, that was done by us, so we are sorry for that. But then, yeah, thank you very much for having us. As you know, we just went through a lot of memories, and it's some of them are so emotional to me. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Everybody who is a part of this conversation. And I really, really hope that you guys get to go to university or the college and then enjoy. Yeah,
Fingers crossed on that.
fingers crossed.
Exactly,
Stay
fingers
safe,
crossed.
everybody. I just hope everybody's safe and just everybody's families are safe. So have a wonderful, wonderful time, rest of the semester that is remaining.
And if the
Sure.
pandemic situation eases a bit, and if we make it to Calcutta, we'll try and drop by and give you guys a visit and meet
We
you
would
guys.
love
Yes,
that. We
yeah,
would
yes,
love that.
Exactly.
We would literally love to talk to you face to face.
And
That would be really good. So
Thank you.
next session, I hope we will have some other successful millennials, just like you have made the institution proud. We will be trying to contact and get some other millennial successful achievers of the college and be a part of the CLC conversation beyond the classroom. Thank you. Elima Basu signing off.
Thank you.
From Thank you.